Hello everyone, today we're going to discuss about the topic, the impact of information technology on audit process. What is information technology? It is study or use systematic appliance, especially computers and telecommunication, to storing, retrieving, and sending information. Nowadays, auditor can store data of financial reporting electronically without physical document printed out. However, there always be pros and cons that auditor should be aware and take consideration on the impact that could cause on audit process. Okay, let us discuss about the audit objective and scope of work in computerized environment. The audit objective that can be recognized is to improve the internal control system. This can be done by replacing manual system to information technology system in internal control, where it can help handle complex transactions. Another objective is to reduce material misstatement. When integrating the information technology, human error and miscalculation can be corrected automatically. The scope of work in computerized environment. First, high-speed process. It is information can be generated very quickly, which enable auditor to save more time for analytical review and audit evidence collection. Next is low clerical error. It is where error can be avoided since the computerized system can be detected any errors by scanning and processing of the information. Third, concentration of duties. Since the automated computerized program can perform multitasking action at the time to concentrate on duties involved in the work. The fourth one is shifting of internal control base. Application system development control and system software control are designed to provide reasonable assurance that both of the systems are developed in an authorized and efficient manner to establish control over inventory, employee, production, and etc. Fifth, disappearance of manual reasonableness. It is an effort where a focused computer system are created by either deleting or managing the manual operation. Number 6, the impact of poor system. It is where proper care has to be taken to switch the manual operation to computerized system to avoid unnecessary harm and ensure quality standard performance. 7. Exception reporting. It is summary report which identify events that outside the scope of what is considered the normal range, where there is strength of the selective recognition of effective information. The last one is man-machine interface. It ensures maximum of effectiveness of information system, where the information presented to user are determined whether it is necessary to be achieved through analysis of the job. Now let us move to subtopic assessing risk of information technology. Before we continue, why we need to assess risk? It is to identify risks that may occur by using the information technology on audit process. First type of risk of information technology is lack of transaction trail. This risk is where the audit trail may be available for a short time or cannot be read by computer at complex transaction, can cause error program application. It is difficult to detect it in time. Second, lack of segregation of duties. The risk is where the entity cannot delegate duties of control procedures such as manual procedures. The third risk is potential for error and irregularities. These risks show that human error which cannot be detected by system might be occurring. Unauthorized data access without trace might happen as well. Of lack of visible output. It is where certain transaction may be not printed out or only summary data may be printed. The lack of visible output may result in the need to access data on computer files. Fifth, ease of access to data and computer program. It is where the control measure need to review by auditor to prevent unauthorized access and alteration of data, since it can be edited through the computer or from remote location. The last one is absence of input document. The risk unsupported data may be entered into computer without proper evidence may arise.
The internal control in IT environment. Internal control consists of general control and application control. Let's start with general control. It is related to overall control information processing environment and sometimes referred to management or information technology control. First, data center and network operation. When there is no unauthorized access to the program, files and system documentation, the operator responsible to be rotated and the file should be properly maintained and backed up. Next, system software acquisition, change and maintenance control. System software are computer systems that control the computer function and allow the application program to run. Therefore, entities should have the strong control to ensure proper approval for purchase of new system changes and maintenance of existing software. Security control include physical protection of computer equipment, software and data. This control is to prevent loss of information from theft and unauthorized use. Application system acquisition, development and maintenance control on application system is crucial to ensure reliability of the information process like the accounting system. It might be better to have involvement of external and internal auditors in the early stage to design the system to ensure proper control incorporate to the system. Now, let's take a look at the application control. It is applied to the processing of individual accounting applications such as sales or payroll. This control helps to ensure the completeness and accuracy of transaction processing, authorization, and validity. First is input control. The purpose of the control over input is to ensure the transaction properly managed before being processed by the computer where there is no cost duplicated and modified at the same time to ensure incorrect transactions are rejected, corrected, and resubmit. Processing control. It is to ensure that all transaction key in being processed by the computer and data files properly stored. Besides that, the existence of this control is to make sure all processing errors are identified and corrected in a timely basis. Last is control over output. This control is to design to provide reasonable assurance that the output are received from the input. It is important as to ensure the result of processing are accurate and to ensure that the output is provided appropriate authorized personnel on a timely basis.
Next is auditing through or via computer techniques. Under Computer Assisted Audit Technique, CAAT, it will cover about nature and type, the consideration using CADs, and auditing software that can be used. Nowadays, many companies using CAAT because of the substantive test and test of control and also aid in the effective and efficient performance. Also, able the company to test application control such as completeness, accuracy, and validity. There are 6 types of CADs, which is first, generalized audit software, second, custom audit software, third, test data, fourth, parallel simulation, fifth, integrated test facility, sixth is concurrent auditing technique. First is generalized audit software. This is the common tools in CADs, and it is also able auditor to obtain the evidence directly on quality of report and maintained by application system. It is not sub-package that can provider means to gain access to and interrogate data maintained on the computer storage media. Generalized audit software consists of a series of computer programs that can read computer file, select desired information, perform repetitive calculation, and print report in an order-specified format. For the second one is custom audit software. Custom audit software is generally written by auditor for specific audit tasks. It is necessary when the entity computer system is not compatible with the auditor GAS or when the auditor wants to conduct some testing that may not be possible with the GAS. While for the third is test data. Test data development of imaginary data by auditor that are subsequently processed using the client computer system. Results obtained are then compared with predetermined result. It is used by auditor during test of controls. Its ability include can verify the correct functioning of a program, can ensure computer respond correctly to deliberate errors on data, and can verify computer-generated total balance and analysis. Fourth is parallel simulation. It is computer-assisted audit technique that uses client input data and processes it on a duplicate program to test the computer system. Fifth is Integrated Test Facility, ITF. It is an automated, ongoing technique that enables the auditor to test an application logic and control during its normal operation. CATS that uses fictitious data and processes it with the real data to test the computer system while the client personnel are unaware of testing process. For the last one is concurrent auditing techniques. Advanced computer system may require the auditor use concurrent auditing technique, which may be conducted by internal auditors. Three concurrent auditing techniques are snapshot, system control audit review, and expert system. Now, let's look what consideration in using CATS. First is computer knowledge, expertise, and experience. Second, availability of CATS and suitable computer facility. Third is impracticability of manual tests. And fourth, cost associated with using CATS.
Auditing software. The example of auditing software is Audit Express. It is offering services that can help the audit by performing the audits and compiling the annual report. The second example is ACL. It is the data extraction and analysis software tools used for fraud detection and prevention and risk management. By sampling large data set, ACL data analysis software is used to find irregularities or patterns in transactions that could indicate the control weakness or fraud. The last example is IDEA. It is also known as data analysis software. It is powerful and comprehensive tools that allows professionals to assess risks, gather evidence, uncover trends, and provide the intelligence needed to make informed decisions from multiple data sources. Test data. It is involved the auditor submitting dummy data into the client's system to ensure that the system correctly processes it and that it prevents or detect and correct misstatement. The objective of the test data is to test the operations of the application control within the system.
Okay, next, let's move on to e-commerce. What is e-commerce? E-commerce is the process of the sale or purchase or exchange of products, services, and information through computerized networks including the internet. In other words, e-commerce is the activity of buying or selling of product on online service. Electronic commerce draws on technologies such as mobile commerce, electronic funds transfer, and internet marketing. Next, the characteristics of e-commerce. First, the disappearance paper documents in commercial transaction. Electronic transactions characterize that there are no paper documents reciprocal in transactions, since all of the correspondence between the parties to transactions conducted electronically without the use of any paper, which is consistent with the purpose of e-commerce, is the creation of community transaction paperless, which raises the issue of electronic evidence and its impact as an obstacle to the growth of e-commerce. The second characteristic is inability to identify contractors. The Internet provides business sector managed transactions efficiently from anywhere in the world, so that the center of company information can be found in any place without affecting the performance. But mere for this separation special between the parties of electronic transactions did not know all the information core from each other as in traditional commercial transactions, where one of them not know the financial position and whether it has reached the age of maturity or minus eligibility. Next, products delivered electronically. Internet allows the possibility of delivery of some products electronically, such as computer programs, musical recordings, videos, books, papers, and reports online, as well as some services such as consulting, medical, or engineering, which creates a challenge for the authorities where there is not yet a great mechanism for digital products subject to custom
or taxes as vendors that can be used to evade the payment of custom duties and taxes by not recording this transaction in the books of the official accounting. And lastly, speed in the completion of business transactions. E-commerce effectively contribute in the completion of commercial transactions between the parties PDS business transaction without the need to move the parties and having met in a particular place and in the provision of time and effort and money. Okay, now let's move on to the next part, which is risk identification. Management faces many business risks relating to the entity's e-commerce activity, including loss of transaction integrity, the effects of which may be compounded by the lack of an adequate audit trail in either paper or electronic form. Next, systems and infrastructure failure. The third risk relating to the entity's e-commerce activity is pervasive e-commerce security risk, including virus attacks and the potential for the entity to suffer fraud by customers, employees, and others through unauthorized access. And lastly, non-compliance with taxation and other legal and regulatory requirements. Legal or regulatory issues that may be particularly relevant in an e-commerce environment include adherence to national and international privacy requirements, the enforceability of contracts, the risk of money laundering, and violation of intellectual property rights. Okay, let's move on to the last part, which is the effect of electronic commerce records on audit evidence. First, there may not be any proper records for e-commerce transactions, and electronic records may be more easily destroyed or altered than paper records without leaving evidence of such destruction or alteration. Second, the auditor considers whether the entity's security of information policies and security controls as implemented are adequate to prevent unauthorized changes to the accounting system or records or to systems that provide data to the accounting system. And lastly, the auditor may test automated controls such as record integrity checks, electronic date stamps, digital signatures, and version controls when considering the integrity of electronic evidence. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.